Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Freedom Journal Friday. I just dug into my stash. I want to do something with a lot of texture today, and lots of layers. So I grabbed just some things out of my Happy Mail stash and my collage paper stash. So I have this Tim Holtz music paper. I have this little butterfly thing. It's plastic. I don't know what they're called. Embellishments of some sort. I have these little doilies. I have this cool little butterfly stencil-y looking thing, and a napkin from a recent Happy Mail. I also pulled out some of my images and cards and stickers. I don't know if I'm gonna, isn't this image amazing? I freaking love this one. And I feel like I need to do something awesome with it, so it may or may not get used today. But I have some playing cards. I think this is a tarot card. These are actually stickers, and so are those. Some old photographs. I have all these stickers of these really cool labels. I don't know if I'll use any of them. I'm in love with these images, but I just pulled them out. I have them sitting to the side in case something inspires me to use them. I don't know. I just know I want to play today, so I'm going to set those aside and start with paint. I recently bought the golden fluorescent paints, so I know that some of these are going to get thrown in there. I pulled out 5 of the colors. I have a green, a yellow, magenta, orange, and pink. So these are like, oh, look at those colors. Aren't they just gorgeous? Yeah, they're going to be fun to play with. So I pulled those out, and then I'm just going to grab some colors of paint and just squirt them on my palette and just play in layers of paint. So I don't want to think too much about it. I don't know. I just want to play. So I'm just going to lay out some colors that I love. Okay. So I was just looking for my guard paper, and I found it. It just kind of gives me a place to set my tools down so that I don't have to worry about setting them on the page on accident or flicking any paint over there. Because like I said, I don't know what exactly it is that I want to do. I just want to get paint on the page. So in colors that I like. That is all. That is my entire goal right now. So I think I'll start with a spatula and just spread some paint. This thing is awesome. I need more catalyst tools. I love them. With the brush handle, because I don't generally use them on the brush. With the handle, I use this to spread glue most of the time. But like, I need to spread some paint with it because look how cool that is. It's so nice. I hope everybody's doing well. I managed to get Freedom Journal Friday up last week. I was shocked that that happened. It's just been crazy since moving, like utterly insane. I don't even know how to describe it. We've been here almost a month, and it just feels like time has flown by. Like, it seems like it just hasn't been anywhere near that long, but it has, and it's kind of nuts. I did do a little update video for my other YouTube channel, the Hawaii channel, but for those of you who've been interested, it's been crazy. Getting my daughter registered for school was crazy. Just everything has been crazy. She got sick. Anybody who's a friend on Facebook, she had sick one night. She's had surgery on her stomach a couple of years ago, and she's had some issues with some things since then, and it all just like came to a head the other night. We ended up in the ER. Yeah, it was not fun. Okay, so obviously I'm not being careful about my colors blending and mixing here because I'm getting some mud. I'm not worrying about it right now because I am just doing a first layer, and I just want to get paint on my hands and get in here with some colors and play and have fun. So I'm not worrying about the fact that this magenta mixing with the green is not necessarily the most pretty color, and that's okay. Let it make mud. It's pretty with some of the other colors, so I don't care. So I'm not, like I said, not worrying about mixing colors nicely yet. I will do that later. If you're not familiar with color mixing, warm colors and cool colors when mixed together make neutral or mud. Brown. It makes browns. So if you don't want that to happen, make sure that you let your warm and cool colors dry before you apply them on top of each other. Like I said, right now, just not worrying about it. Just getting a background layer of color down. That's my whole entire goal. Cover the page with paint. So there, it's done. And now I am going to, I think, collage a few bits on there and then paint some more. I want to use some soft gel, and because I'm really glopping it in here with my fingers right now, I'm just going to throw some down and use it with my hands and collage some bits down, just using my hands to spread the gel medium. Yeah, so, yeah, hospital, ER, our first trip, that was interesting. 45-minute drive to the ER, which is probably nothing to some of you and really, really far for others, because for me it was kind of far compared to what we're used to. So that was no fun. She was having a lot of trouble. She couldn't stop dry heaving, and she physically is not capable of throwing up because of her surgery on her stomach. It just doesn't. She doesn't have that ability, so if she gets sick, it just continues until she gets enough anti-nausea medicine in her to stop throwing up. So that's what we were doing. And we had to go in, and she had to have some IV medication because the pills that we have at home weren't working. And it was just loads and loads of fun, wasn't it? So yeah, we're learning a lot about living here and enjoying the farmers markets. I've been checking those out like on the regular. I love the farmers market and that I found in Hilo. We're going to check out one at a coffee mill just down the road. It's only on Saturdays, and we missed it last Saturday because we had to go to town for something else, so we went to the other farmers market. But I'm loving all the fresh produce, and I found a fish market now, so that's great. We've got our medical insurance figured out. That was a whole nother disaster, time consuming, and then not having a car. Finally my car got here. I was so thankful that happened. I'm just going to throw some color on top of these as I'm going, just because I can if I want to. Again, I'm just building up layers, texture layers, not going for anything really beautiful yet. We'll get there. We'll get there. Just want to play for right now. So yeah, things have been crazy, and I haven't gotten nearly as much work done as I would like to have done by now, and I'm having to accept that's just the way of it, and that I will catch up. I will catch up. It's crazy. Moving out of state is crazy. Moving out of state to an island, I think, has its own challenges. And we're having fun. We're loving it. It rains like all the time. And apparently summer is the rainy season, somebody said. I don't know if it's true. I get so much conflicting information since I've moved here that I don't always know what to believe about pretty much anything. So rainy season's right now? Okay. So that's cool if this is the rainy season. It hasn't been that bad. But my poor husband and the boys are trying to build in the rain. And we don't have time for them to stop and wait for it to stop. So they just work in the rain, the poor guys. I feel bad, but there's really nothing to be done for it. So just go back to work. They're good boys. Good boys. Today is a beautiful sunny day. We've had a few very gorgeous sunny days recently that have been very nice for the guys while finishing up our cabin, which if you are friends with me on Facebook, you've seen some pictures. If you want to see more pictures, you'll have to check out my Hawaii YouTube channel because I'm not posting that stuff here. I will talk about what's going on here just because it's my life, and I do tell you guys a lot about what's going on in my world, but those kind of pictures and all of that, the building and the off-grid stuff, that'll all go on that other channel, which you can check out. It's called Big Island Living. If you do youtube.com/Krazy Island Living, you should find us. So just texture. I'm just building texture. A lot of this is going to get covered up. I do get questions sometimes about, well, where is that paper you put in the beginning? Sometimes that paper that I put down in the beginning is gone by the time I'm done painting something. A lot of time you can see it, like these black, the printed tissue papers with the black on them. A lot of times you can see little bits of that through the paint and everything, but you guys can't see it on the camera, so I apologize for that. I don't know how to really correct that. But rest assured, it all has a purpose, even if it's unclear what that purpose is. If nothing else, it's texture, it's fun to do, it's fun to play with, and it's just a layer. If it gets covered up, you just can't be too precious with your layers. If you want to create really interesting mixed media journal pages or artwork, you cannot be too precious about your layers, because a lot of it's going to get covered up in the process of building the interest and building the textures. So you need to allow that to happen. So what I'm going to do right now is just really quickly hit this with the heat gun, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I'm ready to add some additional layers, and I think I want to go in with a little bit of these neons. I think that'll be fun. So let's see, do they need shook up? I don't know if they need stirred. They've been sitting. I'll shake them just in case. There we go. I have a big bubble. Big bubble. Oof. Okay, there's plenty to use off the cap. So I just want to get some bright colors on here. So again, nothing really planned, just marks, make marks on the page. That'll be fun. Maybe some green. Let's wipe off more of that orange onto the dry towel. There we go. Where I'm putting this green over this purple, it really needs to go opaque or it's going to show brown. And now I'm going to start worrying just a little bit about making sure that my colors don't make too much mud. So what have you all been up to? Have you been doing anything awesome creatively? I am just like happy to be doing anything because things have been so busy with things that are not art related, and I just want to make art, you know? So if you guys are doing anything awesome creatively, tell me about it. I want to hear. Let me be jealous. It'll be okay. Maybe some magenta. Fluorescent magenta. Ooh, that is so pretty. Yeah, so if you guys are doing something awesome, tell me about it. If you have a great channel, throw a link to it down below in my description box. I may not get to watch it, but other people who are watching my channel might get to watch it, and that would be cool. Right now, YouTube, not something I get to do. I'm really sad. I miss YouTube. Limited internet. I am super limited on my internet, and I've actually used up most of it for the month, so I'm kind of in a bit of trouble because I can't watch it. But my daughter, because she's super smart, has let me know that you can download YouTube videos. Did you know that you could do that? I should have known that I could do that, but apparently I didn't. And she has been downloading the videos that she likes to watch when we go to the coffee shop. On some mornings, I drive by a coffee shop that's close to my daughter's school where I drop her off every morning. So we've started stopping in and using the Wi-Fi. And she downloads like hours of YouTube videos to watch later offline. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do that. So I'm going to be doing that soon because I miss all my YouTube channels that I don't get to watch right now. Don't yell at me for mixing color in my paint. I'm sorry. It'll happen. It'll be okay. So lots of bright colors. I'm going to cover a lot of this up, so I just want to get lots of brights in here. all over the place so that when I do cover up a lot of it, it's okay. Fun. Okay, and I know you're going, where's all the stuff from underneath? And it may not show through anymore. It's okay. It's okay. I'm playing today, so it has to be okay. Because it's just the way it is today. Has to be okay. Let's just smush that into the paint. The paint itself will act as a glue, and because I have enough coverage, it will actually hold and be fine, and then the next layer of paint that I add on top will help to encase it. So I just want to make sure it gets nice and embedded into that layer of paint, and then that creates some really fun little texture. Helps if you only apply one layer of the doily. Okay, I'm going to let this dry for a little while, and then we'll see what we're going to do next. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so again, this is not totally dry, but I think I want to come in with some of this Titan Buff. I want to try something. Just see what happens. So I'm going to just scoop lots and lots of it onto the page. Got my colors just a little too close together. Okay. And then I'm going to take this piece of dictionary page and press it into the wet paint and pull it off and see what happens. Ooh, look, something right there peeled. Let's let it peel. Okay, we'll just let this peel. Yeah, not much, but we did get that peeling, so not enough paint, I don't think. This is that doily right there that I just applied. We'll peel that off. It's pulling off some of the lower layers of paint, which is kind of cool. That's pretty much what all this is lower layers of paint peeling up with these papers. But I figured let's just see what happens, right? It could be fun, interesting. I still kind of like the way that looks with the Titan Buff over the top of it. Can scratch into it because it's still wet. That's kind of neat. This is pulling up some of those layers of tissue. So we can get some, maybe that's going to be the fun part of this, is pulling up some of those papers I glued down already. Who am I driving crazy? Anybody? I know that sometimes I make you guys crazy. So I accept that. I'll accept that as being okay. Let's get some more paint for those. Okay, it needs to dry. Like, it really needs to dry, and I'm having a hard time getting it dry right now because of the humidity, but that's okay. Let me let this get dry and then I'll come back. Okay, so I want to get some more interesting marks in here, so I grabbed a card and I'm going to start with this dark purple and just make some marks. Okay, so I just added some titanium white with a paintbrush that's stiff so that I could do those kind of lines. And this is going to need to dry again before I can move on, so I'll be back again. So I've got my paint mostly dry, And I want to come back in with some more colors and maybe start filling in a few places with some additional color. And this one should be a little wet. It's so opaque. I don't really want that much coverage. Baby wipe in. There we go. Okay, and maybe some yellow. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see. Let me zoom in a little. You see over here, this area where that Quin Magenta went over those little doilies, all that texture just popped right back out. Oh, love it. Okay, so that I like. I think I like it just like maybe just a little more teal on this edge. I'm really starting to like this. I know it's kind of crazy. It's went through its stages. Look at bringing out that texture too. A lot of what I put down first is covered up. I'm choosing to be okay with that because you just kind of have to be. Just to get to the stage that you want to be, sometimes you have to go through a lot of steps and cover a lot of things up, and that's just how it goes. I have chosen to accept that in my art. For me to do the things that I want to do and get where I want to be with it, that's what has to happen. So it is what it is, and I'm sorry if I covered stuff up that you liked. Sometimes you just have to not be too precious with it because I'm talking and air drying at the same time. It could just make you like stop and miss out on something really great. So don't be too precious with your layers or anything you don't like. Just know that you can cover up anything. Okay, folks. Gosh, I had an interruption at the phone call. I can't remember what I was saying. I don't know if I was saying something like really amazing or something really stupid. I have no idea. And I'm pretty sure, and you'll know by now, that I didn't record putting these flowers on. My camera does this stupid thing where it goes back into like demo mode if you leave it alone for a minute and it's plugged in. And then you hit record, and instead of recording, it just puts you back to standby. And I apparently can't seem to figure out that it's doing that. I don't know. So I'll describe what I did, and I'm sorry that I missed it. I took this napkin that I got in Happy Mail, and I pulled out a section of it and placed it here with matte medium. There's another one right here that you don't really see. It's green. And then I went over them with paint. Oops, excuse me. I used Quin Magenta, and I used yellow and a little bit of white. And I applied it with a number 12 round brush to just make petals. And then I went around the edge just a little bit with a very thin layer of Titan Buff just to kind of help them stand out but not really obscure the background too much. So I'm getting really close to done with what I want to do on this page. I didn't really have like a plan of what I want to do. I just knew that I wanted to play and have some fun. Hang on, I have to drink coffee. We're having afternoon coffee. It looks gross because there's cinnamon in it. So, what do I want to do now? I don't know. I'm thinking about some circles with a fine liner. And coffee. I can't quit thinking about coffee. That's masking fluid. White paint. Hold on a second. I gotta get it shook up. And every single time that I use one of these, I get asked what it is, so I'm going to answer that question now for whoever hasn't seen the answer. This is a fine line applicator. It comes looking just like this. I don't take the labels off. This is an 18 gauge. They come with a blue cap as well, and they are 20 gauge, so a little bit finer. And they have a needle tip that you can then write with or draw with or whatever. So mine is covered in paint because I use this thing all the time, so it gets paint built up on it. So if there's not white paint, there's this metal, let's scratch it all. I'm just scratching it all off here to show you guys. There's this metal needle tip on it. And then the cap also has a little, like it's hard to see, isn't it? A little needle tip right there that fits down inside so that it doesn't clog, which is really cool. I fill mine with, I want to say about 3/4 or 2/3 of fluid acrylic and 1/4 to, I'm sorry, yeah, 1/4 to 1/3. What did I say? I can't remember. I fill mine with 3/4 or 2/3 roughly of fluid acrylic and the other 1/3 to 1/4 with airbrush medium. You can also use water, and so far so good. It works. I also throw a couple of BBs inside of it. You can see where they've started to rust a little. I've heard that you can use like plastic BBs, like what are they, airsoft pellets? But the rust so far is not really bothering any of my paints, so I have BBs in mine to help shake it up. You really need to have those in there for these fluid paints so that any of the particles don't settle. So okay, so that's what I'm using. And they're really fun. You can mix whatever colors you want. Like this one is not real well shook up, so it's a lighter pink than what it's showing. But yeah, I have black, I have white, I have empty bottles, so I can make whatever color I want for that day. Today we're using white, and I think I just want to make some circles. Interesting. It takes a longer time for this to dry than traditional acrylic because of the airbrush medium. It kind of extends the drying time. So you definitely want to give this a minute to dry or hit it with your heat gun. I'm thinking maybe I need a couple more circles. Ooh, maybe some splatters. You can also quite easily splatter paint out of these fine needle tip bottles. If you give them a squeeze, you get a lot, so be careful. Okay, so that needs to dry for a little while. I'm really sorry I missed those little parts of painting in the flowers. I know that's a bummer, but I'll do some more flowers another day and you'll get to see how I did them. I basically followed the pattern that was on these flowers. As you can see, they kind of just have simple little brush strokes, so I just kind of painted over the flowers already there because when I put the collage down, it was entirely too see-through and I wanted to bring those flowers out just a little bit more. And I am thinking that I'm about done with this page, except maybe writing some words in it. I'm going to let this dry for a second and think about it, and I'll be right back. So as I was sitting here thinking about it, I was drawn to this little embellishment that I pulled out earlier that says Dare to Dream. Now I don't think that this embellishment like looks good on this page. It doesn't work with the page, so I'm not going to use it, but I'm going to steal the words from it. And I'm going to go ahead and just do them in handwriting with my fine liner bottle again and just write the words myself. Okay, so I squeezed a little hard in a couple places and I got some thick parts to my letters, but I'm gonna just own it. It's my Freedom Journal. I'm not making fancy, oh sorry, oh goodness. This new setup, I have to get used to it. So I'm just gonna let it be what it is. I think I'm just going to drag this little bit together there so the A actually touches. And I just used the brush handle to pull that paint down. So yeah, that's it. I'm calling this puppy done. I had a lot of fun making it. Totally my intent was to just play with paint, get messy, make a mess, have a great time, make lots of pretty colors. I covered up 90% of whatever I collaged down and all of the color that I put down in the first place, which is fine. It's totally fine, part of the process. I was playing, I was having fun, so it's all good, right? It's all good. So cover up your stuff. If you don't like it, cover it up again. If you do like it, save it. Leave that part. So that's kind of what I did, and I hope you guys enjoyed this Freedom Journal Friday. I'm really sorry I missed that part about the flowers, and I'm really hoping that I'll be back with you guys again next Friday because yeah, because things are getting crazy. So hopefully I will be back again next Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you later. Bye for now.